China and U.S. agree deal on audit dispute. Hong Kong, Washington and Beijing have reached an settlement permitting U.S. auditors to inspect China-based accountants, the first step in a manner that might prevent around 200 Chinese companies being kicked off American stock exchanges. Samuel Su, market specialist, CGSCIMB, Singapore. This is seen as a fine first step. However, matters are not completely cast in stone yet, as seen from the various unexpected reversals within the beyond. Kenny Ng, securities strategist, China EVERBRIGHT Securities, Hong Kong. I assume if the settlement is ultimately to be reached, the marketplace sentiment will maintain improving, on the way to guide the Hong Kong inventory marketplace, mainly the ERA quarter. For the short time period, the SHI will maintain the upward momentum and may mission the 21,000 stage subsequent week. For the midterm, the recovery development of the Chinese economy may be the core component for the stock marketplace. Paul Leder, Miller and Chevalier, Washington, D.C., former director of the SEC's Office of International Affairs. Clearly the Chinese authorities felt the strain of feasible delistings under the Holding Foreign Companies Accountable Act. By explicitly tying the capacity to keep a U.S. list to the PCAOB's ability to conduct inspections of a corporation's auditors, Congress imposed a cost on China for its long-standing refusal to allow the PCAOB to conduct inspections of U.S.-registered accounting companies located in mainland China and later Hong Kong. The actual issue is whether the Chinese authorities will now honor the deal and offer the PCAOB unfettered get admission to the auditor's paintings documents. For more than a decade the solution has been no. However, now that the hazard of delisting is real, it seems like the answer from the Chinese government may be different. Winston M.A., adjunct professor, NYU Law School. This is a compliance trouble, so the implementation of this framework within the coming months could be the important thing to the fulfillment of this complicated cross-border setup. Marcia Ellis, lawyer at Morrison & Forster, Hong Kong. We assume that Chinese-founded businesses with touchy information which have now not yet indexed will prefer listings in Hong Kong despite the fact that the PCAOB issue is resolved. In addition, list in Hong Kong additionally insulates businesses from what may additionally stay a contentious dating among the US and China within the following few years despite the fact that the PCAOB issue is resolved. Thomas Hayes, managing member, Great Hill Capital, New York. A long time coming. This has been a big overhang on Chinese ADRs, causing a number of the better quality companies like Alibaba, NYSE, Baba, to be mispriced for some time. As the deal moves forward and the fog is lifted, many of those stocks will have large appreciation. Not because the agency modified, the massive tech structures have weathered the pandemic and crackdown fairly unscathed essentially, however, due to the fact the uncertainty has been removed, inviting buyers lower back to group. Zhang Zihua, Chief Investment Officer, Beijing Yunyi Asset Management. This is honestly splendid news for U.S.-indexed Chinese groups, mainly the main tech firms, as they do not should worry approximately being pressured to delist from New York due to regulatory reasons. And their valuations also can be repaired. Tarek Dennison, Managing Director, GFM Asset Management. It could sign in financial starvation for capital, but the larger signal I think is what number of buyers agree with this is a clean signal that the guideline is again toward open China, and not the closed China, that many Anglophone writers appear to have an increasing number of feared in current years. My endure case on China for the beyond 12 months plus has in reality been a dystopian state of affairs of China cutting itself off from the West in sizable approaches. This agreement could appear to place a massive dent of alleviation in that bear case. I plan to maintain allocating time and capital to China. It is just too massive and too important to ignore. If this affects in better best financials, of direction that might be a huge plus.